Welcome to the Conscious Leadership series.
Thank you.
In an era defined by volatility, certainty, complexity, and ambiguity, which we call the VUCA world, leaders face unprecedented challenges. Yet, amidst these turbulent times, only a fraction embrace the human element of leadership. And many research have shown that 29% of the leaders are only demonstrating genuine connection with their teams. Against this backdrop, we have embarked on a journey to spotlight leaders who embody conscious leadership principles. These leaders are serving as an inspiration to many leaders and leading with both their heart and mind. I'm Smitha Iyer, your host, a leadership facilitator and a coach at DCODE-Inspired Living. Our aim is to ignite passion in each one of you, to be your highest self and reaching your highest point of leadership. So, in this series today, I am welcoming Shourya Chakravarty, CHRO of Aptech. Thank you, Shourya, for accepting our invitation for this Conscious Leadership series.
It's my privilege to be on your show, Smitha, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So, to all our listeners, a little about Mr. Shourya Chakravarty. Shourya is an esteemed and a strategic leader, currently serving as the CHRO of Aptech. He has almost 3 decades of illustrious experience and has led functions like HR, CSR, IT, administration, and employee communication. He's a certified corporate director from the Institute of Directors, India, and an MBA from the Xavier's Institute of Social Sciences, Ranchi. He has worked with companies like Quality Kiosk Technologies, First Source Technologies, GE, HSBC, General Mills, and he began his career with the Aditya Birla Group. In his career, he has focused his efforts on fostering an empathetic and inclusive organization while aligning systems, policies, and governance to meet business requirements, while actively engaging with key stakeholders, both internal and external, including the boards, CXOs, and employees. His leadership embodies a system-driven, people-first, with proven record of transforming HR strategies from reactive to proactive and ensuring tangible business success. And so profound, Shourya, about knowing your people-first approach. And I truly believe that people are at the core of what we do. It's when we take care of our people, they automatically help in achieving business results.
That's right.
Thank you. So, to all our listeners, we are going to understand how Shourya has been demonstrating conscious leadership. And at the end of this conversation, I'm sure we'll have some insightful ideas, tips from Shourya and see how we can better ourselves and be the best version of ourselves in this VUCA world. So, over to you, Shourya. My first question to you is, what does conscious leadership mean to you personally?
So to me personally, conscious leadership is putting yourself in the other's shoes before you take any action or before you speak anything, understanding the situational aspect, the circumstances of or in which the other person would have been. Basically, it is to put yourself in the other's shoes before you act, react, or whatever action you take. So that, according to me, is conscious leadership. The funny part about this is most what we say today as conscious leadership comes very unconsciously to people, right? And it is important also to note that those who want conscious leadership to be practiced should actually practice kindness. Kindness not just in words, but genuine kindness. And kindness, and let me also clarify here, kindness does not mean that you're kind and somebody is taking advantage of you or the situation. Kindness is reciprocal. If I can use Hindi, I can say वो कहते हैं कि ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बजती है. So it's whatever it is, it's a reciprocal two-way approach. It cannot be a one-way approach.
Yeah.
So that's my take on conscious leadership.
Absolutely. What I heard was, understanding the needs of others, and
Yes,
also understanding our needs. It's not just understanding somebody else's needs. Yes,
right.
we need to understand. We need to be kind. When we are also kind to ourselves, we will be kind to others. So respecting our thoughts, respecting our needs, and also understanding the needs of others. When we actually
That's right.
understanding others' perspective,
Yes,
others' aspirations, because everybody is unique, everybody is different. No two people are the same. So how do we understand others' perspective, put ourselves in others' shoes and understand where are they coming from?
so
Yeah.
there is this very nice little three-letter word called ego. As we rise in our professional journeys, as we kind of gain more knowledge, this little word, although remaining a three-letter word, expands in different ways for different people. So much so that people start thinking that I am right and everybody else is wrong. That is something which I don't think we have a prescription for that, but you need to personally realize it, and realization will come. The laws of the universe ensure that whatever goes around comes around. You put something out there, it will come back to you in many ways, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, it will come back. You criticize somebody, you will be criticized in different ways you wouldn't even have imagined. You help people, you praise people, you help people to grow professionally, you help people personally, whatever it is, it'll come back to you. And I'm not hinting that one should do it because expecting something in return. No. Now, understanding of perspectives, there have to be conscious efforts done by people. What if I was in that situation, which I said earlier, that put yourself in that situation. Now, say, for example, if a team member makes a mistake, the easiest thing for me to do is to react. Why wasn't this done? Hello, it was under my leadership. I'm equally accountable. I can't pass off my accountability. The buck stops with me. Right? That understanding has to happen. You can delegate work, you can delegate responsibility, you cannot delegate accountability. As a leader, the leader needs to be accountable for the actions of his or her team. The leader needs to understand that the team's performance are a reflection of the leadership style, of the leadership behaviors, conscious or unconscious, of the leadership abilities and capabilities of that person. So that is how you understand the perspectives. There would be people who would deliberately choose to ignore the perspectives because they're so drunk in their ego, what I typically would refer to as positional power, that they would forget it. When positional power overtakes institutional priorities, that sounds the death knell. Institutional priorities, and I consciously refer to the word institutional priorities because it may be an organization, enterprise, social organization, whatever it is. Even if you look at family is an organization, right? It's an institution, not an organization. It's an institution. Now, if my individual priority is to go out with friends on a weekend, but my family priority is something else, I will obviously choose my family priority because it is an institution. We need to translate the same thing into the workplace or our organization or enterprise, wherever we work. So this fine balancing of the two is also very important. And only then can we understand that, perspectives are important. You may interpret a situation in a different way. I may interpret a situation in a different way. That brings me to the upbringing people have had, to the inputs they have received in their careers. But fortunately, what I see during my interactions with people, both at the workplace and elsewhere, is that the new generation is different. Right? They do understand the perspectives, although at times they're very rigid, and we all were rigid when we were young. But it's okay. I mean, learn to understand everybody's perspectives. And positional power doesn't work, be it the organization, be it at home. As a father, if I try to impose something on my child, on my family, it will not work. Those times have changed now. So there is a social change happening. There is and which has its effects on the organization aspect also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard such profound things from you, Shaurya. Ego. I think ego is the biggest enemy of anybody's success.
True.
Success does not come from being in the space of ego. And you simplify the whole aspect of the positional power. A title does not have any meaning, but the way I live
Right.
and lead has tremendous impact on people around us. Whether it's an institution, whether it's a home is also an institution. You simplified it so well. A father of the house can have the power that I am probably, taking care of the family and all of that. But you move from the positional power to saying that, hey, I am, I am part of you. We are in this together, good, bad, anything, but we are in this together and we are going to overcome the tide. So when we show that institutional priorities, the ego starts sort of diminishing, and the position, you never recall those position or the title when dealing with people.
Right.
And one more profound thing I loved. So that's how you inspire, right? Otherwise, you're driving people to achieve results. How are you inspiring? So you brought in one big element of the I, from drive to inspire. And when you spoke about not correcting people, they have a different perspective. So how is that you're building that interconnectedness with your people? When they're making mistakes, they're learning from their mistakes. But as leaders, how are you moving from the correct to the connect? That's what I saw in your
Absolutely.
and you're doing it so and when we start doing this consciously, it automatically goes in your unconscious, and that becomes your way of living. So
Correct.
profound, so profound.
And
Yeah.
Smitha, I have been fortunate, or rather blessed, to have good leaders with whom I have worked right from the start of my career. And, they have molded me in such a way, or I have been influenced by them. There have been many in the journey. And, it is just amazing how they have ensured success, but prioritized individual well being. They have focused on the person as well who was working with them. And all the leaders I have worked with, all the managers I have worked, I have reported into. Well, those days I didn't know the term conscious leadership, but yes, they were conscious leaders. So, yeah, my gratitude to them also. for having shaping me to the person I am today.
Yeah, and it becomes so important, right, Shaurya, that we get shaped as leaders depending on how we were shaped by others.
Absolutely.
And that plays such a crucial role when you just talk about leadership. That leadership is all about first self leadership and then leading the teams. uh, we already spoke about a lot of things, but I still want to bring in an element of how self-aware are we. Self-awareness plays a very crucial role in conscious leadership. And I say this, the human iceberg, right?
Mm.
How much do you know about yourself? So your behavior and outcome is visible on the top of the iceberg, but the behavior and outcome of what you've done is a result of your beliefs, your values, and your needs. How have you built that awareness of yourself, and how do you stay true to them when you are communicating with others?
So I have always taken feedback positively. And there are times when I have junked feedback also, because I realized that the feedback was not necessarily a feedback. It was an effort to uh, kind of sabotage things or whatever. So, firstly, as you grow, you tend to become a little spiritual. And I'm not using the word religious, because if I use the word religious, it will have different connotations in today's world. You become a little spiritual, and that helps you to understand people. You know, we often use this word called vibes in the organization. What are vibes? Vibes emanate out of energies, right? And we often say that person is not displaying energy at work. What is the kind of energy you are displaying at work as a leader? If you are pointing out to somebody having a low energy, are you doing enough to ensure that the energies are channelized properly, right? That is something which is very, very important here. Channelization of energies towards the goal, and understanding that everything will not go as you want. So, the way I look at it, and I have developed this over a period of time, I wouldn't say I was born with it. I will not behave with somebody the way I would not like to be behaved with. It is as simple as that. Yeah, there have been aberrations, there have been actions and reactions, and but so be it. I mean, consciously and introspection. Fortunately, I have a good team, some team members who come and give me the feedback that, Shaurya, in this situation, it would have been better if you wouldn't have said this. And I said, why? Because I need a reason. And they give me a reason. I said, yeah. And I'll give you a reason. Yesterday in the office, someone sent me a text in my team, a follow up on two things, and I was busy with something else, and I reacted. In uh, I was a bit harsh in the reply on WhatsApp, and later on in the evening, I called up that person and I said, "Look, uh, I was in the midst of something. I shouldn't have reacted in the way I did. So I'm sorry." And that person immediately said, "No, I didn't know that you were busy with something else." I said, "You were not supposed to know. I should have been more particular in not replying immediately to you in the harsh way." So these kind of things do happen. We are all human at the end of the day. Otherwise, we would have been gods.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If we don't make mistakes, then we should be definitely gods. But probably the universe is also saying, we have also done some mistakes. The gods would also say that we've done some mistakes. And, you know, that's what it is, right? Vulnerable enough to say, I'm sorry, which you demonstrated. The person did not know that you were in the midst of something. And yes, Why should he know about it? And that too, you are sitting somewhere. And today, it's a world where people are talking about remote working. So, which means I
Correct.
can't see you. I can't see your mood. I can't see how busy you are. I can only hear your voice. And just that voice cannot give me all the intuition about in what state you are in. So it's become all the more important to understand people from that far off. Somebody is working in morning shifts and night shifts, and they're so poles apart, sitting in different locations.
True.
And being more vulnerable, the way you showed your vulnerability. Saying sorry is not a weakness of a leader. It shows that, hey, I care for you, I care for your feelings. I would have said something harsh, but I did not mean to hurt you, but it's important that I say sorry. And that brings me to that question of, you had written about vulnerability and how it's important to be vulnerable enough as individuals and within the organization. And
Hmm.
that's where I connected with you. I love that
Right.
post so much, that I said, yes, here is a person who believes that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness and it's a sign of strength. So, what is the role of vulnerability in conscious leadership?
I think that's the very basic of conscious leadership. You understand your strengths and your areas of improvement. You understand your abilities. Uh, and then you think, uh, you reorientate yourself, you recalibrate yourself, and you may have insecurities. I mean, everybody has them. So it is to basically rise above your fears, shortcomings. And for that, it is important that you first understand and accept them. If you don't accept your weaknesses and you tend to brush them under the carpet, you will never grow, both professionally and individually. So it is important that you recognize and accept that yes, there will be uh, shortcomings. How do I need to rise above them? And in this context, I'll give you an example. This was in, I think, 2019. My late MD, Anil Pant, uh, he had given us a task. And so we had, going back a little, we had become a PCMM level 3 appraised organization in 2018. And we had 2 cycles before we could pitch for level 5 appraisal. So it needed 2 cycles, and then the whole process would have taken about 18 to 24 months. And during a discussion, he said, can we do it in 6 months? So I looked at him and I said, Anil, 6 months? We don't have the resources. We'll have to put everything together. And I just said that if that can be taken as a vulnerability, I said, and I reached out to my team and they said, Shourya, we'll give it our best shot. And let me tell you, as an organization, the team's efforts, we did it in about 9 months. We were the only organization in the world to have got this appraisal done during the pandemic. The first 2020, we started off much earlier. 2020, when it was happening, people were in a different frame of mind. My team called up everybody of the people who were involved. And everybody was at their home. You couldn't go out. This was April, May 2020, lockdown enforced. People were cooperative. We explained to them the need. And as an organization at that point in time, I think we accepted the vulnerabilities of people. If some people said, no, I can't do it, I said, okay, it's perfectly okay. We didn't say, no, you have to do it. And while I gave this example, there was another thing which struck me right now. probably all of us became vulnerable during COVID. Look at how we've evolved after that. I think COVID, more than COVID, it was the lockdown which forced us to be at home. We probably never faced anything like this in our lives. That kind of helped us all to think, and we were all vulnerable at that time. Anybody who says that, I was not vulnerable, I was okay and all, is lying, plain and simple. You didn't know whether you would be alive the next day or not. So that, something is important to understand, that you won't know, you won't have all the answers. It's okay. You ask. And I have learned a lot about vulnerability and overcoming it from Anil. Yeah.
Yeah. So, some of the things that I am learning from you in this is ask for help when required. How many leaders are able to show that vulnerability? How can I ask for help? I am the boss, or at times, I just need to do it myself. Another aspect is building the trust within the team. Checking with them, building that consensus. Hey, you know what? We have to do, this is a project that is expected to be done in 6 months. What do you think? How can we actually achieve this? So putting the ball in their court to build that ownership, rather than saying that, I don't know anything, this is what we need to do, just go ahead and do this. But when doing that, we are not empowering them. The all ownership is on us. And people
Correct.
are thinking that, what the hell, which the project that is not, it's an impossible task. The boss wants to just show off for something, and he's just pushing us. He's not even seeing what we are going through. And when you said you did all this during COVID period, when each one of us did not know what's going to happen the next minute, and all the challenges that they were going through at home. So I found that psychological safety being built, where somebody could even say, I cannot do it, and you are perfectly okay with it. I'm okay if you cannot do it, but can we at least try? What do you think that if we can try, what could help this organization to do better? Or how could
Correct.
this help the team? Yeah. So I found aspects of psychological safety, being vulnerable to say that I need help, and asking the teams that, what do you think? How can we work together to achieve this stretched goal? Is it possible? And if it's possible, what is that we can do? And thank you for sharing that example. It really showed vulnerability, not in the workplace, but also on this platform, where you shared, yes, I had to tell I don't know. I mean,
Right.
this may not be possible, because bosses don't want to hear no. As a general philosophy, that's I don't want to hear no, and likewise, I don't want to hear no from my team members as well.
So, Smitha, if I may add, bosses, how should I put it? We all have our idiosyncrasies, right? And as we evolve, we become managers of people and all of that. But if we don't lose our humaneness, it's okay. Let's not treat people as resources. Let's treat people as people. Everybody makes a mistake. Yeah, but once, twice is okay. But if you repeat that, that means that's a conscious choice you've taken to have that mistake. And yesterday I was in a virtual conference, and we were talking about failures. I said sometimes failures happen and sometimes failures are caused. There's a difference between the two. You have to be alert enough to recognize the difference between the two. When I say failures happen, it could happen because of unknown circumstances or whatever. When I say failures are caused, it could be because somebody is deliberately trying to do something which is against the normal way of doing things. So it happens all the time. And these are those dynamics which are there. And I don't know who said it when I learned, when I was in my student, is man by nature is a political animal. Let's accept that. I'm not saying do politics, but understand that.
Absolutely. Wanting to be right, wanting to be correct, showcase the best possible self in front of everybody,
Correct.
anything.
So, yeah, I mean, going beyond vulnerable, but what happens if you see leaders, some of the great leaders of all times who have been successful at whatever they were doing, be it delivering on the numbers for the organization or delivering on a goal, they have always recognized vulnerability and they have channelized the energies towards achievement of goals. They have never played the blame game. It's very easy to blame people and punish them or initiate punitive actions. But what did you do as a leader? Did you walk the talk? If today something goes wrong, I will rectify it. I'm not going to blame people because, hello, at the end of the day, I'm accountable. It stops with me. I can't pass on the blame to somebody and said, then, okay, under my nose, this happened, so you are to blame. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And sometime back you also spoke about the energy. What is the energy that I am demonstrating? Am I demonstrating, aggression, which is coming out of a certain energy that I am throwing out? So if aggression is what I am demonstrating, aggression is what I am receiving.
Absolutely.
So I am being compassionate and empathetic. Empathy is what I am receiving.
Very true.
Yeah.
But there will be times, Smitha, when you will not receive that immediately, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
It's okay. Absolutely. And yeah, in the world of instant gratification, that's what people are looking out for. That I have done everything for this person, but that person is not recognizing. Maybe there is something that is coming your way. But as leaders, to have that right energy being demonstrated and demonstrating compassion will that's when we'll have followers. We don't want people to say, hi, I have a title and that's why you need to follow me.
Right.
That's not even sustainable. They'll follow you probably for some period of time till the work, still their work is done, but probably they will move out and jump the ship somewhere else.
What you say is so true. Leaders are not leaders because of their title. Leaders are leaders because of the work they do, because of their behavior. How they have ensured collective well-being. And when I say it's not ensuring collective well-being at the cost of the organization, ensuring organizational profitability, organizational success, organizational goal achievement, and taking the people along. If people are not there, both are complementary to each other. One doesn't happen without the other. So real leaders are those, and there are many in every organization, are those who have actually contributed to both. And they've always led their, they've taken people along. If you look at wolves, when a wolf gets old, and this is a story I read somewhere, when a wolf gets old, the wolf is the only animal which takes care of its parents. Usually in the animal kingdom, it's a free kind of world, but they are loyal to their partners. And when their parents get old, the wolf parents get old, The younger wolves go and hunt for them and get them food. And they grieve with at the passing of a parent or a senior wolf. There's so much to learn from them. We always look down at them without wondering that the animal kingdom may have its own language and they may have a hearty laugh about the way humans behave. You never know that.
Oh, animals have such kind hearts. I'm not a pet lover, but when I experienced the love of a pet, my perspective towards these beings completely changed. And yes, when you said, yeah, organization has to run, organization has to be profitable, but if the individual's purpose is aligned, they are driven automatically,
Correct.
So my question to you is, how do you help your teams to find their purpose to drive engagement at workplace?
See, what I tell them is these are the organizational goals to be achieved and what is in it for me. I explain them why we must do it. And see, I may now find it easy because, because this team has worked with me for a long time. But even otherwise, for a brief period when I was out of my current organization, I was for a year and a half, I was in quality kiosk technologies. Even there, I noticed that it is very easy to channelize people if you explain the purpose. Be transparent. Don't hide things. कैसे क्या करना है, क्यों करना है. The team will do it. And again, I was at Quality Kiosk during that COVID period when the second wave, which was even more deadly, hit. I was there and I have seen empathetic, if I were to say an empathetic organization beyond my current organization, I would refer to Quality Kiosk. I used to report to the CEO, Manish Hawar, a fantastic human being, more than a leader. He's the founder and CEO. But he is a fantastic human being, understands the people's psyche, and the kind of conversations he has with people. I learned there as well. I said, look, invest time in conversation. The work will happen. But if you are not conversing with your people, again, the difference between between resources and people. If you treat human beings as people, everything is possible. If you treat them as resources, it just becomes a transaction. When I'm speaking so much, you may be wondering, or your audience may be wondering, what about the compensation? Yes, that happens. That comes. That's a choice you have to make because we live in a give and take world. So that's the way I have helped my team. Not helped. I have kind of channelized their understanding. I have accepted their perspectives. And if they say that no, something can be done in a better way, I have understood that.
Yeah. Again, something very profound. You said that when there is when there is a project that comes to our table as leaders, we jump into actions of, say, who will do what? Do this, do this, do this. And then we are monitoring is important, but are we monitoring or are we micromanaging? These are two different things. But before that, what you said was stating the why. What is the reason behind this project? What is going to be the impact of this? And thereby, every individual is able to understand, where am I in this whole thing?
Correct.
How is that I am going to contribute? And by contributing, what is the value that I'm gaining? And value is not about compensation, because compensation is just an outcome of how you have contributed, right? So how is that my contribution helping me others in my team and the organization as a whole. When these things are put together, the work simply happens and everybody goes with the flow. That positive energy is there. The stress is no more there because everybody knows the why. Why will anybody have stress and burnout when you are just loving what you are doing?
Right.
And when you know the why of everything. So yeah,
So
just
if
don't
I
jump
may,
into it. Yes, yes,
if I
please.
may, you know, when you said stress and burnout, and the very important thing, yes, it will be there. Stress will be there. If we are telling that I don't have stress or we are not giving you stress, we are lying.
Yes.
Stress will be there. We need to know how to manage it. There will be work deadlines. There will be work stress, just as we have personal stress. You get stuck up in a traffic jam, stress starts building up. What I have to reach home, I have to do this, I have to go out with family, everything is getting delayed, the shopping mall will close, stress building up. Manage it. Can you do anything? First, you are. Can you do anything? Can you get out of your vehicle, bus, train, car, whatever, and walk home? You can't. And what will you do? You know that I'm reminded of this incident I told you now. A long time back, I was traveling, and those days I didn't have a car because I couldn't afford one. I was traveling home from Churchgate. My office used to be in Churchgate, and I used to live in Vashi. So I was traveling home, and something happened. The train stopped somewhere near between Govandi and Mankut, and about 20 minutes it was stationary, and then I saw everybody jumping off, getting down, and what something. The
Yes,
overhead
yes.
wire had snapped. Okay, what do? You can't do anything. So I also got down and walked with the people, and this I'm talking about probably 99 2000 kinds, and uh, we all know what the train tracks would have been at that time. Walked and got out of the of Mankut station, walked towards Mankut station, got out, and then took an auto rickshaw to Vashi. Could I do anything? I couldn't. Everybody was stressed. All the passengers were stressed, and everybody was murmuring something on the other. We were all. I mean, at that time, you would have many people would have used the choices expletives also, but you couldn't do anything. So accept it. And that's where I say, while in vulnerability, we accept it. Even when we cause stress to ourselves, we need to accept certain situations that they will be or they will not be. And we always have that choice to walk away. So, wanted
Yeah.
to add that here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much. Yeah, we all have the choices. How conscious are we about our choices? And what is the impact of the choice that we are making on us and people around us will help us make the right choices. I'm
Right.
not saying we will never go wrong in our choices, but even when we go wrong in the choices that we've made, again accepting it and not and learning from those wrong choices is also being conscious about it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, beautifully you summarized it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much. As we are moving into the concluding aspects of this session with you, Shourya, I just want to summarize a few things. You spoke
Sure.
about energy. You spoke about how our energies the vibe that we give to others
Mm.
can have an impact on the relationships that we are building.
Right.
The ego being
Mm.
our biggest enemy in leading people, demonstrating vulnerability, asking for help,
Mm.
building consensus when there are tough deadlines, so that you're able to make others also equally part of that stretched project and the choices that we are making.
Correct.
I love the wool story that you said, that how the wool takes care of its parents. what are we doing to take care as leaders? We have a huge responsibility. It's the responsibility is not about the work. The
Correct.
responsibility is about how we are taking the people together, like the wolf taking care of its parents. How we are showing them the why in every step in their journey, and how we are moving from the positional power to organizational priorities. It
Very
was
important.
it was a lovely conversation, and I personally learned a lot in this conscious leadership series. And I know I'm becoming a little more conscious about these aspects that you spoke about. So what will be some advice that you will give to the future leaders if they really want to practice conscious leadership?
Advice. Most difficult thing to give today
Yeah,
in
with
today's
your
world.
years and years of experience, I'm sure the listeners will love to get some advice from you.
No, so I would just say understand that energies can be channelized. And when I say energies, I'm not talking about some abstract concept or anything. What I mean is having a situational understanding and helping to channelize individual energies into collective energies, which will then act as a propeller for success. And success means not moving ahead over someone else. Success means being happy with what you are doing. At the end, I would just say, are we all do a lot of things today. Are we all happy with what we are doing? uh, Happiness is derived, right? I think that's what it. And be true to yourself. Don't do something which you don't believe in. uh, but yeah, be true to yourself, understand your priorities, be it individual, be it family, be it organizational. Understand your priorities. It's very easy to give gyan, and I don't want to give gyan, please, but to each their own.
Yeah, thank you for that wisdom. Happiness is also a state of mind, right? And yeah, build your priorities, be authentic. Authenticity is literally the key to conscious leadership, and I completely agree with you on that.
Thank you
And
so much, Smita. It
thank
was
you. Thank you so
wonderful.
much. It was really wonderful interacting with you. And I want to show just one aspect of conscious leadership that
Sure.
that we have built as part of Decode Inspired Living. And our
Hmm.
aim is only to unlock the potential and create future leaders who are inspiring and who literally lead from their head and heart. And that's what I saw in you, Shourya, that it's not about the tactical aspects and strategies, but it's all about leading from your head and heart to achieve the organizational goals. And that's the 4I model of leadership that we have developed, Shaurya. It's an
Hmm.
individual who's moving from an I to who am I. That's the first I in conscious leadership. The interconnect we spoke about,
Yes.
I don't want to tell what you did not do and what you should do, rather than connecting with people, having more conversations with them, understanding them rather than correcting them all the time. That's the second I. And the third I is all about inspire. Rather than driving people, how do I inspire them to achieve the results and empower them? And when we have all this three I coming together, we integrate it to become not just a sustainable organization, but an organization where everybody thrives. So
True.
I'm glad that we came on a path where you discussed so many aspects about it. So thank you so much, Shaurya, for your time, and I'm sure the listeners are going to really find this conversation very valuable. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Smita. And
Thank you.
it was an honor and a privilege to be conversing with you on especially a topic which is very, very close to my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being a conscious leadership evangelist. Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you. Thank you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.